I'm graduating in only 2.5 years, which reduces the cost. So I will graduate debt free.
Kelsey DeSmith, a senior, is getting her bachelor's degree in health science in December. She's part of the first graduating class in a pilot program called the College in 3 Exchange, granting a bachelor's degree in 3 years.
Hi, ADNC family. Welcome back. It's your girl, Shea Richburg. I'm so excited to be here with you today. So we just saw a clip. We're talking about 3-year college degrees. If you like this video, don't forget you got to catch me at shayrichburg.com. All right, let's jump right in it. So you just saw the clip. We're talking about some schools are trying to now offer 3-year degrees instead of 4-year degrees, which I think could be kind of cool for some people. So let's dive in deep into what's happening, why they're doing it, okay, and what'll come out of it. So we're talking about the impact of society. We know that AI is replacing some jobs. We know that some students are choosing not to go to college anymore. The enrollments have been declining, and so colleges, they have to rewire what they're doing. But I have done research and I found out that this is not a new concept. I actually saw somebody talk about this maybe 2 years ago, that colleges were considering offering 3-year degrees instead of 4-year degrees. So to be clear, colleges are offering bachelor's degrees, the same degree that you would get in 4 years now in 3 years. And in this particular clip, we're diving into the University of Minnesota's pilot program, which they call College in 3. So I would like you to hear from them about this program and about how this young lady is getting her degree in 3 years and how it makes her feel. So I'll be right back.
Did you ever imagine that you could do college like that?
No, not at all.
Kelsey expects to save about $30,000, a full year of tuition.
So it's not just making it shorter, it's making it better.
Lori Carell is the chancellor of UMR and started the pilot program, now spreading to 25 colleges nationwide, public universities like the College of New Jersey to private institutions like Georgetown and the University of Miami.
Okay, so the 3-year bachelor's degree, it's sounding pretty legit. So let's jump in and go over a little of the information we just heard. So you get the same amount of credits, but you finish it in 3 years instead of 4 years. You get the same bachelor's degree. Nothing there has changed. But I don't know if you caught, you actually would be saving on average $30,000. $30,000 by cutting out an entire year.
Damn.
And so that's astronomical. So it's not all schools yet that are doing this. There's about 25 colleges nationwide that are starting to do this. And there were 2 colleges on the list that colleges that I really like. It was Georgetown University and University of Miami. There was a lot. There was a school I think in Chicago. There's a school in New Jersey, various schools, but it's worth doing your research and seeing where you or your child may be interested in going back to school or going to school for the first time, if that college or university offers a 3-year program. It may be something that colleges aren't too excited to just put out there to let people know, oh, we have a 3-year program, because I'm sure they'd like to promote their 4-year program first, because obviously, well, that's more money for them. But to help people save costs, this makes a lot of sense. So let's break down some of the numbers as to why they created this program, because it's all about the money. It's all about the numbers. Okay, let's jump into it.
Research shows that financial concerns are the main reason why young adults don't attend or complete college. More than a third of students who do start don't finish college within 6 years, according to the latest data from the Education Department. And the College Board says those who do graduate, many have debt, an average of $29,000.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Drum roll. You just saw some of those numbers and statistics, but we're going to go over that now. So it basically broke down why people are not going to college, why they haven't been going to college. So at the highest percentage, you have people cannot afford a 4-year degree. Okay, plain and simple. The economy is not great. Jobs are not paying what they need to, and the bills are sky high. I don't know who they think are going to continue to pay these sky high bills if they aren't providing, jobs that can pay these bills ultimately. And it goes further into just minimum wage. Yes, that's a good thing, but there's a lot of people who make more than minimum wage, and those salaries need to be increased too. I love how no one's really talking about that, but we really need to be talking about that across the board, ladies and gentlemen, that there needs to be minimum wage increase, yes, but there also needs to be salary increase everywhere. So for that reason, people can't afford to go to college. That's why they don't go. Then we have the breakdown that people need to work to support their families. So college isn't an option because after graduating, they need to start making that money right away. Next, and that's at 36%. And I'm sorry to go back. The percentage of people who can't afford to go to college, they're saying, is broken down to 42%. The people who then need to support their families are 36%. After that, at 29%, people just didn't want to go to college. College is not for everybody. I get it. It truly isn't. If that's not your dream, if you don't need to go that path to become an entrepreneur or to get a trade, there's no need for it. So 29%, they feel as though they just don't need to go, unless they feel as though some people think at 23% that they don't need a higher education for them to get the job that they want. Okay. So, there's lots of careers that you don't need that 4-year education. Obviously you have, people who are barbers, you have people who are hairdressers. There's lots of different careers that you don't need a 4-year degree. We all know that. So breaking down those numbers, the colleges are thinking to themselves, what are we going to do now? They're losing money, they're losing enrollments, students are getting really upset because they keep hearing AI. AI, is turning into the boogeyman to college students right now, and people soon to enroll college students because they keep saying AI will replace jobs. And I have said this, AI will replace jobs. It won't replace all jobs, but you have to understand and work out the probability. If you go to college, you have to go for a certain industry so you will not be replaced, right? So I'm just giving you the information so you can share this with your children. Or if you're thinking about, changing careers and going back to school, you need to understand that there is a 3-year degree that you can get faster and it will save you money. How much money is it going to save you? About $30,000 a year. So it says here, 1/3 of students who start college do not complete college within 6 years. I'm going to repeat that again. 1/3 students who start college, they don't even complete college. And that's one of the worst things that can happen to a person, because you don't have the degree that you need, and then you have debt that you don't want. It makes no sense. So you're basically, forfeiting something that you need, but then you're getting something that you certainly don't want at the same time. And so it's so important when you sit and you talk to family members, or you sit and talk to your children, you sit and talk, even making this life-changing decision for yourself, you really have to make sure the numbers work. Is it worth it? Is the industry worth it? All of that comes into play. And I feel like in the past, a lot of people weren't doing that because it was more flexibility. But, we have a high demand society. There are people who are unemployed for years right now, okay, who are looking for jobs. I wanted to share the statistics that this is the first time in an astronomical amount of years that students who do not have college degrees are actually getting jobs faster than students with college degrees. So you have people out there that don't have college degrees, but they are actually more employed, or getting jobs faster, I should say, than people with college degrees and are looking for a job. So, colleges are hearing this and they're still trying to figure out what can they do, because that's a big problem. I really feel as though at a certain point, if you get a degree and you cannot find a job, I feel as though it's almost criminal that a school, took your money, took your time, took everything from you those 4 years, and then cannot help you actually get a job in society. I mean, I feel as though colleges should research. They should know what type of jobs are available. I think there should be more universities that have internships too, that help place you before you even get in the workforce. And I think not enough colleges are doing that. And so there's a lot of research that shows that the few colleges that are doing that, kids actually get into the workforce and they have great careers following graduation. But that's just me. So, but everybody's not happy about this. So Some people are happy because obviously it's going to help the cost, but you'd be surprised. There are some professors who actually don't agree with this. So we're going to listen to one professor right now and see why he thinks this isn't a good idea.
But some college professors are vehemently opposed to the idea of a 3-year bachelor's degree to save money.
There is kind of a visceral disdain for the notion of watering down what it is that we do, selling them something that is a lesser product and calling it the same thing.
Professor Kenneth Mash, president of the Association of Pennsylvania State College and University Faculties, thinks 3-year degree programs might do more harm than good for students.
Our biggest fears is that we're going to create, a two-tiered system, perhaps a segregated system. Working class people and others will be, taking these 3-year degrees without knowing even what employers would think about it.
Well, you heard from a professor himself. He doesn't agree with this model. He thinks that overall that people will be getting watered down degrees. Those are his words, not my words. He thinks that you're going to get downgraded information. So he thinks basically that you're going to be paying for something that it's not going to be the worth put behind what you're paying. 3-year degree is not cheap. It is cheaper, but it's not cheap, right, ladies and gentlemen? So he feels as though that the colleges are not going to provide that specific information that you'll need, that job interview is looking to see if you'll have, okay? And so he's also saying that it's going to do more harm. And this was something I thought was very interesting. I don't know if you guys caught this, but this professor said that it may possibly create a 2-tiered work environment where employees may feel as though possibly someone might get paid less money if they graduated with a 3-year degree versus someone that graduated with a 4-year degree. So it's interesting how I feel sometimes in our country here that there's always a solution to a problem, but then it always causes a new problem. So I actually understand what he's saying, and I would hope this wouldn't happen. But just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you have more people getting 3-year degrees, and you still have some people getting 4-year degrees, and they are going to give, possibly more money to a person that has the 4-year degree, or possibly the managerial position to a 4-year degree. I'm not saying this is happening. I'm just giving you feedback on what that professor said. And I can imagine this happening because, like I said, there are solutions that are offered all the time, but then comes a new problem or a new tier in society. Our society always has some, gatekeeper or some roadblocks or some tiers. And right when you think like, oh, it's a solution and it's an even playing field, guess what? Sometimes it's not. So I'm going to put that out there and say, hopefully it will be an even playing field, but that's something for you to consider when thinking about a 3-year bachelor's degree too, at least in his opinion, not mine. He's saying that it will help with costs, and I think it will help with costs, but I also think it'll be beneficial for some people with a 3-year degree because they have more time then to get an internship, which I just said a lot of colleges do not help people get internships. So because it's less time focusing on the classes, shorter amount of time, then you can actually go out there and get an internship with a company. And once you get an internship, ladies and gentlemen, that's golden. That's really what you need. You need an internship like you need these classes. That depending on your field, but internships, it's everything, right? You need the skills. People want to see that you have the skills. It's not just about you can sit and you can take notes. It's, now can you put this into effect, right? What you learn. So I think that's really good. And I think overall the 3-year degree is positive. Now, Shea is always here to give you the information. I don't tell you how to think. I just provide you with the information. I want you guys to go research more and figure out the best options or pathways for you and your family. I think the 3-year degree is a wonderful option. I'm glad to see that so many colleges have been offering this, and this is public schools and private schools, just so you guys know. And I do honestly think that more schools will roll this out. Come 2 years from now, you're going to hear about this more. So, a lot of people haven't really been learning about this yet. So, yeah, don't forget, Shea was one of the first people to tell you this and put you on. I think it's good because it's always good to save costs, right? Because nothing is promised. You can pay for a 4-year degree and you might not be able to find a job. You pay for a 3-year degree, you might not be able to find a job, but you're in less debt, right? It's probability. That's all it is. That's life. Life is probability. So what I'd like to see, I think, for us family, as a Black American, I think this is something that would be, really cool, seen more in the HBCU communities. I did a little research, and there is just one HBCU that is currently offering a 3-year degree. Get your pens and papers out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Wilberforce University. And I'm going to say that again just in case I messed it up. It's Wilberforce University. It is a HBCU, and they offer a BS that you can get in 3 years. I didn't say they offer you BS. I said you can get your BS. There's a difference in 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. And the degree basically revolves around, I believe, it's physical therapy, a sports science degree. That's a type of bachelor's degree that you would get from that HBCU. And I'm going to show you some of the numbers on that right now. So be right back. Okay, so we're back. So we're going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. So I have 6 key points I want you to take away from this video. We have the pros and we have the cons for this 3-year bachelor's degree. The first pro is that it's a path to income. Okay, the 3-year degree will get you into the workforce 1 year earlier, and that actually matters when AI is changing those jobs very fast. Then you have another pro that it is less tuition for you to pay back. 1 year less in school, that's less tuition, that's less housing, that's less fees, that's less debt. And the last pro, it forces career clarity, honestly. So students may need to choose a major in a career direction a bit earlier, which can be a powerful thing in guidance. And so with that, I have to say, I remember being in school and I had all these prerequisites, okay? So I had all these courses for my major, and then I had all these prerequisites, okay? And the prerequisites had nothing to do with my major. It had nothing to do with me coming out of school being an expert. And so that's one thing. If anybody's out there who's on a college board, who's a dean of a college, I would say to you to get rid of all those prerequisites. If anyone out here can relate and understands what I'm talking about, all those darn prerequisites, whew, it felt like a waste of time then, and it still feels like a waste of time now. I'm grateful for the degrees that I have, but the prerequisites were painful back then. I just wanted to get on my career path. And so doing the 3-year degree, you will get on your career path earlier. And I believe have less of those prerequisites, type of classes. So let's go to some of the cons with this 3-year program. So there's less room to explore. Traditionally, 4-year college gives students time to change majors, right? A lot of people change majors. Some people, they go to school, they don't even know what they're going there for. They don't even know their last name by time, it's exam time, honestly. It's so crazy for everybody. But a lot of people don't know what they're going to school for, and then they're not mature, so they grow in maturity. It builds networking, which is really good. They get to study abroad. And they discover themselves. So that's one thing that is a con, that maybe you won't have those opportunities in going after that 3 years degree. Next, you have a con. AI makes skills more important than speed. So finishing faster only helps a student if it also builds the AI literacy and communication and problem solving skills and the real world experience. So sometimes, again, some people are getting those internships, some people aren't. So if you get a 4-year degree and you have the opportunity to intern in between, I think that's wonderful. I think it's worth it. That hands-on experience, really getting to learn the students in college, really building up that network. That's what it's really about. So, one less year, that takes away that opportunity a little less. And the last con, employers and graduate student perceptions. So as a professor, he mentioned some employers and grad students still prefer the traditional 4-year pathways unless the 3-year college degree is accredited or well-designed and clearly understood. So if this is something that's not clearly understood why you received this 3-year degree, what that has to do with the substance of the degree, it may be frowned upon at first. But I think, everything that's ushered in newly is frowned upon by some people, but not all. So you really have to weigh your options, ladies and gentlemen. I thought this was a fantastic story. This was information that I think can be life-changing to people. So if you are a parent or if you yourself are thinking about going back to school, we do have new options out there. We have the 3-year degree that I think a lot of people are going to go towards, and it's all types of schools. It's not steering. It's not just private schools. It's not, all public schools. It's something that you can look into. I'm always here to provide you with your options, and so you make the best decision for yourself. If you like the video, again, please don't forget to download the ADNC app and come visit me at SheaRichburg.com. We have Pivot to Power. We have Agentic Future Path AI. It's an amazing platform where we help students match them with the right school, the right trade school, the right entrepreneurship opportunities. So it's been wonderful talking to you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.